It is time. It is time to brew your best beer.
The 2016 SJPorr Challenge is dedicated to your friend and ours, Paul Wickstein. Brought to you by Brewcraft USA, iMake, Gladfield Malting, Yakima Valley Hops, The Grain Bill, Brewers Exchange, Keg Kingdom Homebrew Supply, Hiraki Homebrew, and a special thanks to our silver sponsors.
Hey Rock on Beer viewers, welcome to another SJPorr Challenge review. This one, we've got a bottle of 58T 33U 73N. And it is a Citra Delight American Pale Ale, gently hopped with Citra and Mosaic. Check out get the nice label there. Hopefully you can make it out there. Got a nice little blurred image of some different citrus fruits there. It's very cool, very nice label. Let's see, this was bottled on the 23rd of August, 2016. IBU 40.5, 4.1% ABV. What's up here on the, what do we got up here on the website? Gently hopped American Pale Ale using Citra and Mosaic hops, 40.5 IBU. It's not meant to be in your face, more subtle and sessionable. All right, great. So let's get into this. Nice hiss. All right. Oh, it's a tiny bit of water, as always, in the glass. That's how you know it's clean. That's how you know I just cleaned it. But, alright. Oh, we're gonna fit the whole bottle in. Cool. Forgot to check if this was keg conditioned. Yes, I would hazard a guess that it is keg conditioned because there is nothing whatsoever in the bottom of that bottle. It's totally clean. And speaking of clean, look at that beer. Look at that. Look at my finger through there. That is clear. Ladies and gentlemen, that is very clear. It's got a nice what kind of color do I want to associate with this one? I'm gonna go with washed out copper. Yeah, that's a nice descriptor. It's a very, very light orange, very dark yellow type color. Little head on top, little fluffy white head. Likes to stick to the glass. That's a good sign. Not seeing a rush of bubbles, but I do see a few little tiny ones in there, so it's definitely carbonated. Ooh. I'm just gonna give it the old swirl to get some noses coming out of there. Yeah, Citra Mosaic. But just like in the description, it is very subtle. Yeah, it's got that kind of man. I am gonna be, and I hardly ever get this from Citra, but I do know it's one of the descriptors, and I'm gonna be that guy, and I am gonna say that for maybe one of the first times ever. I do get that I do get what people call cat pee, and I don't want to say that like a bad thing. I'm not saying that this beer smells like cat pee, but kind of, for the first time, I'm kind of actually getting where you can get that from. It does have a sharpness to it, but it's a nice Citra smell. It's got a little bit of fruit in it. The Mosaic, I can definitely smell that. It's that kind of weird dankness, fruity dankness that Mosaic has. But it's very, very, very light, very, very light, very subtle. It's got some maltiness behind it. It's got a little bit of sweetness, little malt sweetness to the nose. Yeah. Yeah, it's got that. It's a very classic type pale ale taste. Very subtle. I'm gonna keep coming back to subtle because 58T33U73N used it in their description here, and I'm gonna come back to that because it is a very subtle flavor of hops. This is not your blow you out, just blow your brains out hoppy beers. Hoppy beers, it's just one. It's a singular. It's one beer. Definitely get the hops in the flavor. I get that that sort of Citra flavor, Citra mosaic. It's kind of a, they're used so often in beer now that they kind of have a flavor all their own, which is that kind of dank citrus fruit type flavor, like dank grapefruit. Yeah, I don't know. Dank fruit. I like that, dank fruit. I think we're gonna go with dank fruit. All right. As always, gonna kill the tape here, write some notes, and come back. Hey guys, I am back. I am back with 58T33U73N, the subtle pale ale, the Citra Mosaic pale ale. I've been drinking on it. It's definitely a very easy drinking beer. It's yeah, it's very sessionable, very on theme. It's got that thin thin body, very dry. Not incredibly dry. It's actually got a decent amount of kind of maltiness or a malt background to it. The taste is a little muddled for me, because the hops are so subtle. It does bring the malt out a lot more, and I would guess that there's a decent amount of crystal malt in here. Perhaps something a little darker, which gives it a background kind of not sweetness, but a kind of it interacts with the hops a little weirdly, and it's a very kind of old school pale ale type flavor that I get in a lot of older school pale ales, American pale ales. So it's more of a your cup of tea type situation. Myself, I like more of the pale ales with less crystal malts, because I think that it's definitely personal preference. But I do get a lot of that crystal malt, semi-caramely, a little bit of metal, a little slightly metallic type flavor of crystal malts, with a very light hoppiness, and the interaction kind of gives it more of an herbal type tone. So, but it's also not affecting the drinkability. It's a perfectly drinkable beer. It's maybe not what the new trendy pale ale, I guess if you're talking about, this is a very good example of an old school American pale ale, which is balanced between the malt and the hops. Yeah. I probably my only real criticism is that I know you were going for this kind of balanced subtleness, but I think it could have used maybe just a touch more of the hops, because they're such distinct hops that to say that, oh, it's Citra Mosaic, it's difficult to pull, especially from the taste, Citra Mosaic from it. The flavor is kind of just more of a generic hoppiness. It's also very low in bitterness. I think you put the IBUs on here, right? 40.5. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's also very classic. I feel like, yeah, a lot of the line between IPA and Pale Ale is very blurred nowadays. Where this is a very firmly a Pale Ale, or an American Pale Ale. Yeah, I guess just because I'm a hophead, I would like a little more hoppiness to it. So, but this is very much a beer that is dependent on the taste of the person drinking it. So, other than that, other than maybe cutting back on the crystal and upping the hops just a touch, just to get some more of that character, it's a very nice drinkable beer. And yeah, thanks for sharing it with me. Cheers. 58T33U 73N. I'll see you guys in the next review.